Hello, my name is Miss Maria and I would like to welcome you to this online session. Today we'll be reading a passage from Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls. This book is the third installment in the Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls series. This particular book is about 100 immigrant women who changed the world. The author of the book is Elena Favilli. Let's start off with a simple question. What makes a rebel girl? What is a rebel girl like? On the cover of the book, there are some names of characters who feature in the book. Some of the immigrant women who feature prominently in this book. For instance, Anna Wintour, Rihanna, Josephine Baker, Carmen Miranda, Eileen Gray, and Madeleine Albright. Our protagonist of the session is not mentioned in the cover, but nevertheless, she remains a bold and she's indeed a rebel girl. Now, before we get to the story, I would like to read a few words that can be found in the first pages of the book. Here is the foreword. The author writes, "To the rebel girls of the world. Cross boundaries, demand freedom, make your mark, and when in doubt, remember, the future is yours." Now, the author explains why she decided to dedicate this book and to write this book about immigrant women. Let's hear her words. People often ask me what it means to be a rebel girl, and there can be many definitions, just like we are all different from one another. At her heart, a rebel girl is someone who tries to make the world better for herself and the people around her, no matter the risks. In the following pages, you will read stories about women who embody the spirit of the rebel girl, leaving their birth countries for a multitude of reasons. Some of these women actively chose to seek new opportunities, while others left out of necessity. Immigration is rarely thought of as a woman's story, but more than half of all immigrants are women. The women featured in this book have already made an impact on the world just by forging their own paths across borders. They also happened to accomplish great things in their new homes. But whatever an immigrant hopes to achieve through their journey, I hope you will finish this book with an understanding that movement from one country to another is a human right. As you dive into each of these stories, it might help to think about times you've wanted to move from one place to another. Think about these questions. Have you ever wanted to move to a different classroom? A different team? What about a different city? That is exactly what these immigrant women did on a larger scale. Let their courage and perseverance be a reminder to you, rebel girls, that you should always fight for your beliefs, no matter where they take you. Now let's move on to our story for this session. Here is our protagonist. Let me just say a few words about the format and the structure of the book. So there is the story on the left-hand side, and on the other side is a portrait of the character. Here is Jawahir Jules Robel. Now, every illustration is done by a different artist. This illustration is by Veronica Ruffato. So here's the name of the character, the illustration, and the name of the illustrator. Underneath the name is the occupation, the profession of that character. Jawahir Jules Robel is a referee. Down here below is the date of birth. Jawahir was born about 1994. Here is her birth country where she was born. She was born in Somalia, and then she moved to England. On the other side, here at the bottom is a quote by Jawahir. It's good to stretch yourself, to test yourself. Decision making, being strong, you learn so many values from being a ref. That is what Jawahir Jewel's Robil believes. Now let's read her story. Here we go. Once there was a girl in London who played soccer every chance she had. Never mind the skirts and hijab she wore, or her parents' disapproval. She knew she belonged on the soccer field. Jawahir, known as JJ, had learned to play soccer on the streets of Mogadishu, where she sometimes used a potato as a soccer ball. When JJ's family fled Somalia, so they escaped from Somalia because of civil war and moved to England, her love of soccer was one thing in her life that didn't change. As a teenager, JJ's love of soccer led to an unexpected opportunity. One day, she was asked to referee for a junior league soccer game. JJ loved the challenge so much that she decided to make it her career. In soccer, as in most sports, referees need to be quick thinkers and confident. As the first female Muslim soccer referee in the United Kingdom, JJ also had to overcome, she had to move forward, prejudice and racism. Players were often surprised to see that the referee was a small Somali woman wearing a hijab. So they would have thought that she wasn't good enough, or maybe that she didn't belong there. I don't let that stop me from doing my work, JJ said. Refereeing is a tough job. There is a lot of pressure. You have to be focused and make quick decisions. So I don't have time to think about what people think of me. JJ quickly advanced from refereeing youth games to adult games. She won awards for her referee and has used her influence to encourage other Muslim girls to play soccer. She has set a goal for herself to be a referee at the 2023 Women's World Cup. It would be a dream come true, JJ said. And that is the end of the story. I hope that you enjoyed listening to it. Now let's move on to your task. So, here is a handout entitled Rebel Girls. I would like you to think of that one person, that one woman or female character, perhaps someone who is in your life, someone that you know or who you are familiar with, or someone who you admire from afar, someone you've read about in a book, or someone you've seen in a movie or on television. Think about that female character who inspires you. A female character you think is a rebel girl. Rebel girl can do different things, just like the author explained at the beginning of this session. She may do great things, she may do small things. The most important thing is that this rebel girl changed the world, changed life. She made the world a better place. How and why, that is entirely different, depending on the story, the life story of that person. So, here, the first box, name of the rebel girl. So that person, that female character that you truly admire, that you think is a rebel girl. So just write the name over there. The nationality, so where that character is from. The date of birth. Date of death. If that person is still alive, then leave this one out. And the profession or career, so their job. That's the first step. Now, here are two larger boxes. The first box, what is or what was she famous for? Okay, if that person was not famous, was not a celebrity, you can think about the impact that this person had. For example, a teacher at your school. Okay, why was she loved by the students? Why did you like her? And perhaps some interesting facts about this character's life, career, or family. And finally, a quotation, perhaps a piece of advice that this rebel girl, that this character shared with you, or some famous words that this character often shares with the public. That is the end of the session. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.